Hello, my name is Felipe, and this is probably one of the hardest things I've done. Um, Today I'm sitting here, lost, overwhelmed, alone, and it's um, it's very scary. I'm turning to YouTube, um, and you could say that this is like my cry for help. For years, my health has been a mystery. It all started about 5, 6 years ago when I had sharp pains on my right and left side of my stomach, uh, under my ribs. It all started with sudden, very sharp pains on my left side and right side of my stomach, under my rib. And I went to the emergency, uh, and I I was hoping for answers, but I got I got nothing. I got no answers. Eventually, they found a polyp in my gallbladder, so on my right side of my stomach. At first, I thought, finally, finally I got answers. Now we can probably do something, right? No, they didn't do anything. They left it there. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that the left side, where I had the most pain, they found nothing. They did a few tests, but at the end, they just said that it was something called IBS. But for me, that was not an answer. To me, that was like, you have this because we don't know what you have. And yeah, I guess IBS is given to people who have problem with their stomachs, but doctors don't know what it is, which it sounds so messed up. And I have anxiety problems. I have a lot of mental problems, and for me, not knowing what it is, it just made me feel worse. Recently, I started meeting a new doctor, and my blood samples looked fine. Quite recently now, things have gotten worse. I have more pains and it feels worse, and there's still no answers. It's just a polyp in the gallbladder. But then he went through my records and he found something that shocked me. So apparently I did fecal tests like a year ago, and apparently those tests had blood on them, and they told me nothing. They didn't tell me about this. This was just a reminder of how neglected I felt this entire time. So my doctor, I think, is trying to help me. He's making me redo all these tests. I might need a gastroscopy again or endoscopy, which are uncomfortable. They suck. And this is a small step forwards after so long, but it's so uncertain and it's taking so much time. It's exhausting, honestly. This all got worse, especially when I started in a new company, now like 1.5 years ago, or yeah, something like that. It was a sort of like lumberjack trees and like gardening services kind of. So I did this after leaving rehab. At first I was excited, I was so happy. It was something that I really like. I like nature, I like animals, I like plants. Everything nature I really like. The owner made it sound like a dream opportunity, so I was all in. He said that it would align with my dreams and my hopes of helping others and making a change. Obviously now today he was just manipulating me. It didn't take long for me to realize, but when I realized, it was I was already trapped. He convinced me to move close to work, so I tried to find something cheap, like close to the forest, close to nature. So I did. I moved out. He actually paid for it, but once I moved, I realized that this guy lied to me. He deducted parts of the cost from my salary, leaving me with almost nothing. And the job suddenly became way more than I thought it would be. Well, way more than they told me it would be. I quickly became part of HR. I was given responsibilities like beyond what was reasonable. I opened the company at 5:30 a.m. and worked until close, often until close. Sometimes even longer hours. I remember one time I opened and me and another colleague, we were working until like 9 p.m. and you were supposed to, in Sweden, you're supposed to work 8 hours. Like running things like a CEO. No kidding. And this was all while I was part of a program through Arbetsförmedlingen. In English, it's the Swedish Public Employment Service, which required the employer to give me like job that suits me. Instead, they force me to lie about my responsibilities in the company. They also made me lie about my well-being. I was feeling bad, but they wanted me to exaggerate. I have my mental issues, They wanted me to make it higher, like they wanted me to make it sound worse, so they apparently get more money from the government. The stress, the long hours, isolation, it destroyed my mental health, it destroyed my well-being. And this toxic environment in this company made everything so much worse. But after a particularly bad situation in the company, I had to call sick. I broke down. So with help with psychologists, I managed to I got the papers so I could be on sick leave like a longer period. But instead of like trying to help me at all, they actually fired me without a reason. And they fired me like soon after I found, thank God I found an apartment. But after I found this apartment, they didn't hesitate to fire me. And here I am. After everything that happened, my finances, my job, my health, I started feeling like I was losing it. I was totally losing it. Some days it feels like I'm just existing, like a zombie. I also feel controlled by something. I don't know, like I'm not myself. I go through the emotions, but I am not really here. It's it's a terrifying feeling, and I don't know how to stop it. All the stress and the chaos in my life is making everything worse. Everything feels worse, and the loneliness, it's unbearable now. I've been alone almost my entire life, so I have learned how to be alone. It's fine. I feel fine being alone. I always felt okay about it. Uh, I I like it, but now I feel I feel lonely. It's like, it's a difference being alone and feel lonely, and that's exactly what I'm starting to feel now. Now it feels heavy. I push people away, um, like people that know me. I push them away. I think it's because maybe I don't want people to see me like this, but sometimes I wish that I could erase the memories from people that are close to me, so they don't have to suffer. I think they're suffering because how I'm doing. I don't know what to do. I apologize if my language is like hard to understand. I guess I'm working with my English. The positive thing is that I managed to get an apartment, but it's just an added financial stress for me. And right now I only have about 1 or 2 months before I run out of money completely. I've already sold so many things just to get by. Despite everything, I am making this video because I wanna believe that there's still hope. I need to believe that I can connect with people who understands how it feels to be like this in this situation, lost, scared, overwhelmed. I hope that by sharing my story, I can find people that has been through similar struggles, people who might have advice, encouragement, or just a kind word. This whole thing is about finding connection. It's about starting something new. I've spent so much time just doing nothing with my life now. Consuming. I'm just being consuming all the time. I've been doing it so much that I forgot to create. Like I don't create anymore. I used to draw. I used to do so many things. And now I am doing nothing. So yeah, that's something that I wanna change. And what I hope to achieve, I think it's quite simple. I want to rebuild my life step by step, and this video is the first step, and I don't want it to be the last. So I plan to keep sharing my journey, my progress, my struggles, and everything in between. I want this channel to be a place where people maybe feel less alone, better understood. Eventually, I would love to turn my passion for helping others into something real. Maybe I could start different projects, or a community where we can help each other. Helping others has always been something I care deeply about. I'm not gonna give up on it, even if it has been tough on me, or I end up in places where I maybe shouldn't. I don't know what's gonna happen next, but I hope this video can reach someone that is feeling like I am doing right now. Maybe we could figure things out together. Maybe this could be the start of something better. Thank you.